Well, our health has improved. That's one thing. And, we've worked very hard on it. And this goes back to over a year ago. I think it was in December after that blowout loss we had to the Clippers. And, we recommitted to a lot more work on defense. We had a pretty big lineup change at Christmas time last year. You guys remember, more physical, tougher, all that. And sometimes it takes a while. But we play a demanding style, and it's not for everybody. You don't see every team in the league picking up full court the way we do. It's hard. You don't see them, 7-footers up on pick and rolls at half court. Our guys are making big sacrifices to make improvements. And so, progress has been made, but it's, the work goes on.
Now, you just mentioned health. Maybe that's the answer. But what's key it being more consistent on that end of the floor these last, this season especially, but as you guys have gone on this run?
Defense?
Yeah, almost every game.
Our guys have co-signed on the importance of defense. They're involved in the accountability aspects of defense. If you hear our huddles and hear our halftime locker rooms, they talk to each other about being better in situations. And we got a unique group of guys here. It's very, very special. And with everything that we went through in October, November, early December, this team could have cracked many times, but they always hung together. Pascal and Ty have been great leaders in the locker room, and Miles and TJ. And these guys know it's a long season. So we had a hellacious schedule at the beginning of the year, probably in large part due to the Paris trip, and everything's compressed, and we happen to have a lot of the better teams early, and that's challenging, but it hardens your resolve and it makes you tougher. And it either what do they say about pressure? It bursts pipes and it makes diamonds. And you hope that it's the kind of thing where it can bring out the best in us. And so we've been doing some good things, and we got more work to do.
We were talking, obviously, at the beginning in pregame today about just, the rotation expanding and guys in the periphery having a lot of skills that you still need. I mean, it seemed like a lot of guys stepped up at big moments when you needed it. Obviously, Thomas Bryant hit some big shots. Jarris Walker has a dunk at a big time. Ben Shepherd obviously hit signing the dagger 3, I guess. Was that kind of another example of the night of, like, you can absolutely have a night where you get 11 guys who make a contribution?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into every game, looking to play a certain number of guys, just because they're good players and, they have played well during stretches and et cetera. I mean, we're going into each game with the idea that we'll try to put our best starting group out there to start with, rotate in as we game plan, and then if additional guys are needed, like tonight, like Ben Shepherd tonight was a major factor in this game, and like you think about it, like I subbed him in for Mathurin for like 20 seconds during the first quarter because I had to talk to Mathurin about something, and then put Mathurin back in. He comes out of the game and just he didn't get in his feelings at all, and he was ready to play. And then, poof, he goes back into the game, and then he's guarding Maxey. And then Drew picks up 4 fouls, and then he's guarding Maxey. And Maxey had a good game, but he didn't go for 44 points or whatever he did the game they beat us early in the year. And Shep had something to do with it, and so did Drew. So, look, and then Walker. I talked to him before the game and just said, look, this is going to be one of those nights. You got to be ready for anything. Be ready to maybe not play and think you're probably not going to play, and then you're going to get thrown in there, and then that's exactly what happened in the second half. And he was one of the guys that sparked a run that gave us some separation. So, hats off to those guys for being ready. Nesmith continues to make progress, and he's done a lot of work to get himself in a position to play these minutes and be able to do some good things. So. But this is ongoing. Obi Toppin's another guy. His minutes are, have been affected a little bit by this too. So the ecosystem becomes disrupted, and so if you don't talk to guys and communicate, it's going to be more challenging. But we got great people, and we're going to use our depth as an asset, and not a any kind of a thing that's a bad thing.
Would you like and not like against the zone? Obviously, when you expect to see zone a lot, you certainly expect to see zone against the Nick Nurse team. And what do you feel like you guys did well against it? Obviously, turnovers is something I imagine you're bothered by, but you obviously hit some big shots, did a lot of good sort of flashing through the zone there. I mean, just what did you like and not like?
I like that we held them to 43 points in the second half, and their zone is disruptive. They're good at it. They seduce you into shots you don't want to take. They get you into the clock. But we had a lot of very good possessions where we hurt them. And so whatever was happening, the great thing was that, when we had challenging stretches, our guys were unaffected. They ran back and they put their head down and they found a way to stay in front of somebody and contest and get a rebound. And that's how we got to do business.
I felt good. It's always good to see the first one go through. Hope you get into the game a little bit. It's great to have. It's great to have been having a good return.
Miles just said in his walk-up interview that you guys' defense has carried you the last 10 games or so. I know you've been watching for a lot of that, but what to you have you seen that has made that turnaround so significant in a way that that's how you guys could win now?
I just think we've really bought into that side of the floor, and we talked about it today. I think we're third in DER, which for us is a huge step from last year, even the beginning of this year. So as long as we continue to ride that momentum and continue to get better, I think the sky's the limit for us.
What did you think of those Sixers zone defenses and why they kind of slowed you guys down at times tonight?
That's what a lot of teams are doing. They're trying to take us out of transition since we play so fast, and zone's an easy way to do that. I thought we were pretty good tonight, getting to the middle, putting them in rotations, and getting the shots that we wanted.
Just to continue on that, I mean, how much do you feel like that's a way for you to step back and make an impact immediately, that you can be somebody that can break up those zones by hitting threes?
When I see a zone, my eyes light up because it usually means either wing threes or corner threes. It's something that, makes my game easier when I see it, and, please continue.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, you come back tonight. When Ben comes back, you start, coming from the bench. Obviously, that's a role you've been in before, and Rick is obviously talking about this being kind of fluid, now with all of you guys back, really with 11 guys being part of rotation. I guess, first off, are you comfortable with that? And what do you how do you think that works for you guys? Just having
we got a deep team. We've always said it, for the past couple of years, we have a deep roster. We have a lot of talented guys on this team, a lot of guys who are deserving to play, and a lot of selfless guys. Jarris didn't play in the first half, and in the second half he came in and he hooped, and he helped take over the game for us. And I just think that speaks to the character of him and our team, that we're able to put the team first. And so it's just a credit to the culture that we've built here.
As far as that culture is concerned, I think one thing Rick said is just he has to communicate with guys and make sure that it's transparent. Everybody kind of has a sense of where they are. I mean, how good a job do you think he's done over just the last couple of years for all the different roster situations you guys have had of handling that well, of making sure everybody knows where they stand?
Yeah, I've never, not one time, been confused about, my playing time or my minutes or starting, not starting. Rick has always been very transparent with me and the entire team about the decisions that he's making. So I think he's been doing as good of a job as you possibly can.
Now, to go back to, does it matter to you personally if you start or don't?
Nah, we're winning games. We're playing well right now. I just want to be able to do my part of coming in and, help continue to win these games seamlessly. So.
You spoke to this team's depth. Someone who was key off the bench tonight was Ben Shepherd. What growth have you seen in him over the course of this year?
Just confidence, being comfortable, putting the ball on the floor, taking tougher shots. His defense is phenomenal. His energy is great. He's just a dude that whenever he gets into the game, you know what he's going to bring. And I think for, a second-year guy, that's irreplaceable and way above, kind of what you expect from someone with his experience. So it's such a blessing to have him on his team, and what he brings to us is, it's irreplaceable.